But anywho, session 0.
Yeah.
Obviously, the people here know this is the rules session before we get into all the fun shit. So here we go. Your responsibilities when you come into session. You are responsible for taking notes. That is not my job. I have 5,000 other notes to keep track of and what you're doing. If you don't keep track of anything, that's on you. If you forget it, you forget it. I'm not going to remind you of every single thing. Keep track of your inventory. If it's not in your inventory, it doesn't exist at all. So, and if you're not sure how to add it, which I think all three of you know how, if you're not sure how to add something, let me know. Keep track of your ammo. Some of you will use it eventually, but not constantly. Obviously, you're gonna run out eventually. Recap will be decided by the dice gods. Recapper will only be out of the players who are there for that session and are there for a majority of the session. So if you're not there or you come in halfway, you're not going to be on that list. And you can write a recap any way you want. It could be a bullet point, it could just be a summary, it could be your character journal. I don't care. So long as you do it on the Saturday or sooner before next session, you're golden. And obviously, bring a positive attitude and open mind. I hope we don't have too many disagreements or fights or squabbles, but if we do, session will pause and we'll figure out what's going on. Sound good?
Mm-hmm.
Dan, I have one question.
Yes.
Up into my time leading up to the board exam I have to take, I'll have to take it in like beginning of July. If I'm not able to get the recap, if say I end up getting the recap, if I'm not able to get the recap done because I'm doing that, what would I do?
You let me know and then I write recap. So.
Okay, because I'm going to try my best, but right, I actually have to literally apply for my board, and I'm going to try for like beginning of July. But then after that, I should be a good.
Yeah, no worries there. Recap is still gonna just be one of those. It's fun, it's there, but if one of you doesn't do it, I'm gonna do it. It's not overly important, but it's nice to have for just everybody in general.
Got it. So if you like absolutely aren't able to do it, let you know.
Yep.
But try to do it yourself. Gotcha.
Indeed.
Um,
It takes. Go ahead, Based.
Sorry. Finish your thought. I'll bring it up in here in a second. Sorry.
You're good. Obviously the goal is just whoever's recapper is somebody who's been there, and it takes a load off me to not have to write it, but I will as needed, because obviously emergencies happen, life happens, shit happens. It's not always possible if the dice gods choose you, so I don't mind stepping in, or I will ask if we have a volunteer if that happens too, so it's not crazy.
Okay, so with the notes one, I can agree with it, and I think it's a good rule to have. But something that Saito does, especially in her campaign, especially since most of their players don't take notes, she'll have them do a history check on whether or not if they remember something, and then proceeds to, if they succeed the check, then gives them the basic historical information for that instance. Would you Would you allow the same kind of thing? Because I can kind of see where.
Yes. I'm just talking about like the instances where, oh, we found a painting that blah blah blah, and somebody's like, well, I don't know what we did or when we did that or what session that was in.
Mm-hmm.
Like if it's that kind of instance, I'm like, nah. But if you were there, you were paying you paid attention during session and you're like, "Hey, what I remember blah blah blah," because you as the player don't remember it in that moment, I don't mind you doing a history check for that.
Okay.
I just care when it's more blatant you weren't paying attention
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. That's what that note is for mostly, is you blatantly weren't paying attention. You
Which I
chose
get.
actively to not take notes. So now you don't get to know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, absolutely fine with the check.
Because
Any other
I
questions?
know for sure I'm not going to be able to remember everything, and I might miss some notes. So
Same.
you know.
Yeah, no. Yeah. That's why I take notes. That's why there's DM notes in the background, as I'm paying attention to
Mhm.
everything that's being said in case we do need to pull up a history check so that I'm ready to remind
Mhm.
you if you pass.
Never
But
mind
that is
that.
also why I don't have time to take every single note.
Mhm.
Valid. I wanted to get better with taking notes, so I was gonna have a thing where Phage. Eventually, probably like session 1 or beyond. I'll see if I can get her a journal to keep track of. 'Cause she probably tries to keep track of people in the biggest portion, as the biggest like thing with her. So
I believe that's
Mhm.
also on my wish list.
Yeah.
put that on mine.
Who needs to read?
I mean,
I
That's my guy's outlook on that.
that's entirely fair.
this
Who
is
needs to
so.
read?
What I'm hearing is that you are DW in that this sign won't stop me because I can't read.
Yeah.
He could
Yes.
probably read it, but he doesn't care.
That sign tells me I can't do it. I'm going in anyways.
Yep.
Fits through
Trespassing.
keyhole.
Walk past sign.
Yep. I totally expect it.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else on this slide?
Because the only reason why I brought that part up is that I don't know how Des is in that sense.
Yeah.
And I think having the pressure of, on top of trying to jot down all of the
Learn.
notes she can, on top of learning, is just a lot for a new player. Now, I'm not saying not, like, negating it at all. She should be advocating to take whatever notes she can, especially stuff that's essential to her backstory and the main plot and whatever. But having to have that pressure of keeping track of all of the notes and not being able to rely on, let's say, a history check or outside information,
Yeah. It's understandable.
yeah. But that's all.
I got nothing.
Okay. Saito?
Good.
Cool. All right. So when we're participating in session, we have rules. Soundboard noises are banned, and I'm talking about the Discord ones because I like my ears and I'm going to be wearing headphones for now. So I would like to not get a migraine because somebody decided to kill my brain.
Mhm.
If you've got loud background noises, please mute if you're not speaking at the moment. Stay on topic for as long as possible. I know this is a struggle. I know we derail easily. I know enough of this group to know we derail for long periods of time about all kinds of topics. But please save those talks for breaks. And if we need a break, voice if you need one. Obviously, we're going to have more breaks than normal because we're going to be on Tana health issue schedule. So I am going to need to be back and forth. But there will be time to talk about non-D&D related things.
Mm-hmm.
And then don't spam voice chat with gifts. I don't mind if it's 1 or 2, but if you're like 10, 20, 30 in a row, it's not needed. And then I lose the chat. And then what our actual text chatters are saying that can't talk. Any questions?
Do we have text chatter in this so far?
Freya is a back and forth depending on her health. So
Mm.
sometimes she text chats and sometimes she talks.
God,
And
I was
because
curious.
because of Doom's campaign, Based, Stanley, and Freya and Doom all know that if they need to step away or if they're sick or whatever, they can just text chat instead.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And also, is the voice changer thing that I have for Phage okay?
Yeah, that's fine. But that doesn't hurt my ears. My problem is fill moments. And you know
Valid.
exactly what I'm
Pipe drop.
talking about.
The
Yes.
pipe.
That is
There
my
was
problem.
there was one time. I think Base was there. There was one time where I was like, okay, the pipe is actually useful. So then I said I had to be like, all right, everyone be warned. Please turn it down. Phil, I need a pipe drop.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Not
Yeah,
saying
that's
it's a bad rule, and I understand why it's there, but the Discord sound thing, soundboard thing, you can lower it or mute it entirely if you want to, Tana, in order to prevent all possibilities. That
yeah.
is an option that you can do on your side, because I've done it for Saito's campaign already,
Yep.
for Phil and Narian, and or I don't know his name in real life, but yeah, them.
Yeah, I have it at 5% because I like to know when a noise happens, but I also do not like to be flashbanged, as in terms of ear flashbanged in that sense. Like,
Yes.
send help.
The pipes.
Yeah.
The pipe. I do not want the pipe. I don't like loud noises.
Hmm.
So that's the only reason I put that in there, is just like, I know it's funny, haha, but like, oh lord, it tends to cause more issues sometimes than good.
Hmm.
But that's it
Also,
in
the
terms
on
of that.
topic is good because
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
challenge any percent. Or no, sorry, challenge impossible.
Yeah.
Just because my
It,
brain's on something related to the board exam that I want to tell you, but we're not gonna do it.
yeah,
Yeah,
you can tell me at the end.
tell you at the end.
Yep. We good on this slide then.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Talking, if you're my talking people, which I think all of you will be in this case. At least that's here. If you're using a mic, be mindful of who's talking. Obviously, I like to hear people. You like to hear people. If your character is the type to interrupt people, go ahead. But if there's a lot of talking, then obviously stuff's going to be missed. I don't mind it, but understand I might be like, what? Huh? I don't know what was said. Just because it's a lot to process sometimes. Chaos is allowed. I expect sometimes yelling, sometimes frustration, sometimes the puzzly oh no moments, or the oh that was a thing. I don't mind that being chaotic for a little bit. If it gets too chaotic and nobody understands each other, then I'm going to ask people to take turns talking at that point, because then we're not accomplishing anything because nobody understands anybody else. Fair?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yar,
Any questions?
nar.
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 Cool. All right, text chatting. Obviously, we'll have voice chat up at all times. We will have people using it. I just need you to be clear if you're using it. I need to know if you're talking, if you're asking me a question, if the character is doing something. I just need it to be clear. That's the only thing I ask if you're my text chatters. Like, even, or if you're just having a 6th day and you're joining text chat instead of the voice chat, which is fine. Because we have a Kenku in the party. Please emphasize what needs to be emphasized and how you would have said it if you would have said it. Such as you stole my cake, and then furious and accusing. This helps Doom pick up words. and things he can use as a Kenku and styles he can use. It's a little harder in text to figure that out than it is in voice chat, but it's still doable. Any questions?
No, I think I'm good.
Not potentially seeing this happen, but for the purposes of my character at the start, how would that be portrayed in VCC?
Yeah.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
can do blah 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 blah. You can do B spam.
So
Okay.
this
Got
is
it.
also something I wanted to bring up is with me being able to mimic anything. I might not know the language, but I could still mimic it. I would like to know if I would still get the translated version, but I would still have to like roll on what I say for that language to say it.
I mean, I'd allow it.
Okay. So then what it would be is the party hears and then the translated version is this, but that's like no one understands that except for the people that understand the language.
Mm-hmm.
With the parentheses of emotion still. That way I can still add it to my sheet, and then I will roll to see what phrase I say in said language that I don't understand, but I can still say it.
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely a way to handle that.
Which is, I know, a little
Alright.
bit more work for you based, but I'd appreciate it.
I completely lost the ask. Not even gonna lie.
It was if because I can still mimic people, if even if I
Uh-huh.
don't know the language, I would
Uh-huh.
like it translated after the fact so I can add it to my sheet and then still roll it. Like if you were trying to say I'm gonna help this person do that, it would be and then right after that translates into I'm gonna help this person with that, and then in whatever emotion.
So, great idea. I see your vision. That's a lot of work that I'm not willing to do. Now you can go ahead and try to decipher what my texts say and with the length amount of burbles you wanna allocate words, but I don't want to put that sort of effort into that because I'm not gonna be able to keep track of all of that. I could be like, "Where are you?" and it'll be blah, 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 blah.
Could you do it for important things then?
I suppose, but the whole the whole thing about my language barrier is that it's gonna go away within a couple of
Yeah,
sessions. It's not gonna be a permanent thing. So, I
which is
mean,
fair.
we could do it for a few sessions, but like in terms of importance, I don't think there's gonna be anything.
Then it's probably not a big deal. I don't see myself switching from common anyway. But if I were to, then I would be saying the same phrase that you said, and that's just
Mm-hmm.
a way to keep track of it.
Yeah, it's not something that's gonna be carried out through the campaign.
Hmm.
The burble. It'll go away within a few sessions and update to common, and people can clearly communicate with pending.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because me and Tana talked about that. I'm like, hey, I I know that everybody should know common, but I think it would be funny for a language temporary barrier, not like a permanent thing. So we have rules and other stuff that we talked about on how we can um, get him up to speed and the ability to speak common because it shouldn't take him much because he already knows it. It's just about the action of doing speaking common.
Hmm. Hmm.
So in that regard, I will if it's something important, I'll let you know. But like realistically, it's just gonna be me saying blah 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 blah,
I got
and
you.
then a bunch of charade.
It's more of a
So.
for when people switch to a different language anyway, but they'll probably be saying it in English when they say what they say anyway, so
Mhm.
Likely.
It was more of a if you were going to stick with it for a while long, then
No.
I would like that. But if you're switching to Burble after you've learned Common to speak it and all that stuff, then I would like to know.
Hmm. Eventually, maybe.
Possibly. It's gonna be a minute.
Hmm.
Y'all gotta have a little bit of an adventure first.
Hmm.
Hmm.
But that was my only thing.
Okay. Anything else?
I think I'm good.
Okie dokie. If you're not at the computer or whatever device you choose to use, uh, let me know that you're AFK so that I'm not sitting there waiting and waiting and waiting. If you're back, say that you're back in voice chat. That way it's not, obviously, if we're in the middle of convo, disrupting the convo. Mute while you're gone if you're on mic. Um, if you leave during combat for whatever reason, and you know what you want to do for your next move, just type it out before you go if you're able to, and I will follow through with that. I will do your rolls for you and follow what you asked. Um, if you're not telling me what you're doing in combat, but you are gone, I'm going to move you in turn order to the end to give you a chance to get back to have a turn that round. But if you do not return that round on time, you don't get your turn. If you didn't tell me, obviously, what you wanted to do and you're just gone. And if you're not in combat, your character just follows along with the group, whatever's going on. And if you're away from the computer. Any questions?
Nope.
Makes sense.
Nope.
Okay. What is bad manners, in my opinion? Telling people how to play their character without them asking for help or advice. Let them figure it out. Let them read. Obviously, we will have people who are new. Let them ask all the questions and then jump in. Unless they really seem like they're struggling, then go for it. But if you're a vet player or an experienced player, you're fine. If you need help, ask. Um, don't name call, swear at other players when it's player to player. I understand if it's character to character. Sometimes those relationships happen. But don't get hostile with other people. This is a game. This is all fake. This is not something to get extremely worked up over. So if you need to step away and mellow out. Please do not discourage other players on how they play their character. They made that character. They put a lot of love into that character. And sometimes characters do stupid things because that is within their personality. Just don't hate on others for this because they're playing their character as they're meant to be played. And do not DM when you're not the DM. I don't mind questions. Questions are fantastic. I don't mind you questioning why something is the way it is or how it works. My main problem, as you see in the example, is I rolled to hit. I hit him. I run across the room, stab the guy with my bonus action. Everybody screams my name. I'm the greatest. I'm victorious. And I didn't get to say anything about that. We didn't even know what the hit DC was, and you're just kind of doing your own thing. That's a no-no. I don't mind your flavors to what you're doing in terms of this is how I pull up my crossbow and then I backflip, yada, yada, yada. That's fine. My main issue is you just go on a tangent forever and nothing has really happened. Any questions?
Check that.
What'd you say, Saito?
Said checked out.
Oh.
Mhm.
Da, da, da.
All right, metagaming, which all three of you know what that is, or should.
No.
Metagaming is using info your character doesn't know to make decisions in game. As my examples, Lily knows mimics are in the unlit hallway. I tell Lily that there are mimics in the hallway because she used an ability or something to get there. The group has heard this, but Lily has decided to not share this info with any of the other characters. Metagaming is Bob, the character, does not know there are mimics. He has no knowledge of this in character, but he yells mimics and freaks out over it. He wouldn't know. The other metagaming is Bob goes into the hallway and fireballs it because he knows there are mimics as a player, but Bob does not know there are mimics because this information wasn't shared. To not metagame, you would continue playing as if there were no mimics. You didn't know there were mimics. So Tom, the character, despite knowing as the player there could be mimics in the hallway, he goes down the hallway anyway to see what happens because his character has not been informed there are mimics. Makes sense.
Yar.
Yar.
Mm-hmm. Alright. And metagaming. Continued. We can't avoid metagaming at all times because sometimes I just need to say what's going on. It's easier. Some days are just low energy and my health says fuck this shit. So I will do my best to give private info as private, but sometimes it's just not possible. So if there's a situation where everybody in the group is aware of a thing as a player, but it is not fully been known as a character, just please play like you don't know. Separate yourself from your character. You know what you know, your character knows what they know. Please play as what your character knows. Don't tell other players what to do in a situation unless they ask for advice. Or you're having a group kind of conversation on what to do. If your character doesn't tell other people bits of information, they might not know it. So say what you want to share with the group. That way everybody's in the know, but you don't have to share what you don't want to. It is your choice to share or not share whatever your character learns. Are we good on this one?
Yar.
Yeah.
Yar?
I've got a
Nice.
dog sitting on my lap now. But yes.
Bear.
Huh.
Fire.
Yeah.
This forever one of my favorites. It's me. All right. About me as your DM. I am a DM of consequences. Good things, bad things, doesn't matter. There are consequences to all things. This will play in your favor, and sometimes it will eat you alive. It depends on what decisions you make as a character and as a group. Anything you guys choose to throw at me, I can throw back at you at a later date. That is my rule. I allow all the creativity, but if you use it on me, I'll use it on you. I'm open to ideas. So if there's something you're interested in, there's obviously the Discord that has the suggestions channels and things like that. I don't mind adding it in. We're in a sandbox world. Literally anything can happen, and that's my favorite part. I have health issues. This group really knows that because you guys have known me a hot minute. So the passing out, the nosebleed, the heart issues, the stomach issues, and everything else in between may cause interruptions of session. I'm sure this is pretty clear. Any questions here?
9.
This is related and also unrelated. You mentioned with the talking about ideas thing. Can Moss's character and my character have a private channel with you?
Yes, yes,
I
yes, you
asked that
can.
because they're pretty like together, so I feel like it'd just be useful to have.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can do that.
Not that together. That would be bad. That's Alabama.
I mean, she is
They're
inside you half the
sisters.
time, isn't she?
What'd you say, Doom?
She is inside your character half the time, isn't she?
Yes and no.
When is the
Not really.
situation yes, and when is the situation no? What the hell does that mean?
Like, and Larry can be outside. It's just Larry likes to stick with Paige. Paige likes to stick with Larry.
Hey, that's
Okay.
not a bad idea, having one for Moss, one for you, and then one for both.
Yeah, I can do that. I could definitely add it in a little bit.
Yeah.
I guess
Just
I could
because, like,
also
there
be
might be a
in and out
thing.
of characters as well. We'll
Hmm?
get to
Yeah.
that situation when we get
There
to
just
it.
might be a thing where it's like, hey, we probably are, like, conspiring to do something together, so
Yeah, yeah.
it's easier than making a group chat DM thing,
Hmm.
so.
Will do. Just remind me at the very end. Actually, Saito, send me a DM or put it
I
in your
shall.
channel, and then I will make it later.
So send it over to you.
Sounds good. All right. Continuing on, if that's fine.
Mhm.
Okay. I have brain fog. I think all of you have experienced my brain fog, so we have good luck moments. The NPCs may or may not have accents or voices, depending on the day. Um, obviously, doodles will happen if my hands and my body cooperate, so be ready for that. Obviously, we have multiple other doodlers in this group, so there will be art. I expect the art to happen at some point for one reason or another. Um, I will try to have as much ready as possible, such as owlbear, maps, art, NPCs, all the shenanigans. But obviously, if you guys really derail and I wasn't ready for the mass amount of shit you came up with, then you're gonna have pretty simple maps and things.
Mhm.
Which, it is what it is. Um, I don't handle flashing lights well or neon colors. Um, if we hit that point and something sets me off, I'm going to delete a GIF or do miss.
Which is me.
It just really depends. Most things are pretty okay, but every now and then something fucks me up because my brain panics over flashing lights and I don't know why. But, yep. Any questions?
Nar.
Nar.
Our
Gotcha. Obviously, pictures. I will give you pictures as often as possible. I am very much a visuals person. I am a visual learner. I like to see things. Therefore, you guys are going to see a lot of things. So, NPCs, book scroll, symbols, puzzles. There's probably going to be pictures 90% of the time. If you think you need more pictures, let me know, but I'm pretty sure I have pictures covered. Any questions?
Nar.
there was something I was gonna mention, but now I can't remember. So continue.
Okay. Oh, what do we need to have a session? We must have at least 3 people who are on time. Ideally, I would like everybody here at 3 o'clock, but I will give that 15-minute window. Within that 15-minute window, if I do not get 3 players, it's a no go.
Look at that.
If we are not in a dangerous area that involves needing most of the group, then we'll go. And if my health is ready to go, we'll go. So, for the most part, it's pretty easy to have session. Unless you guys end up in a stupid, dangerous place where most of you are needed. Any questions?
Nar.
Nar.
Okay. All right, reminders about the world. There's going to be homebrew galore about everything. uh, it's not based on the D&D books. Um, there may be D&D species and monsters and things of that nature, but they might not follow their book lore. So I don't want to hear, Tana, this thing is supposed to be fucking evil, and why is it not? Because I made it not. We're not following those rules. Whee! Um, you need to eat and drink. I have added food and water trackers to your inventory. This is for your convenience. You will need some sort of substance. The environment can impact your health and safety. This includes getting heat stroke or frostbite or things like that. But this also includes your creativity. If you see like a stalactite on the ceiling and you want to make it fall on an enemy, be my guest. I will count it. If you do damage, you do damage. Use the
Question.
environment. Yes.
I am sorry. The environmental stuff that we decided for my character, is that also, am I also prone to the um heat stroke and shit?
You're going to be a little less prone to the heat, but I mean, hold on. Brain. You're going to be less prone to freezing, but you're going to be more prone to heat in this regard because I think we have discussed you losing mass upon getting dehydrated.
Yes, but I won't experience this. Would I experience the same symptoms of
No.
heat stroke? I
No.
would just. Okay, cool. All right.
Um,
Sorry.
Yeah. You're good. That's a valid question.
I also have a question about the environment.
Okay, ask.
Is there going to be certain environments where the timer changes? Because I know in Discord you said that it's a 12-hour timer. Is that a constant thing? Will it change? Will it shorten, make longer?
Yes.
Okay.
Time varies and will vary. And your experience of it will be interesting, to say the least. So time is relative in this case. I will give you an estimated time of what you think it is.
And another thing,
Mhm.
for the food and water trackers, we check them off when we eat or we check them off when we don't eat.
You check them off when you do the thing. When
Okay.
you long rest, it's set to reset your tracker to 0. So
Okay.
it makes it a little easier to keep track.
So if we have full uses of charges, like we can still put them in at the end of the day, that considers us not eating and not drinking.
Yes.
Okay. That's mine.
Okay. Any other questions based on just the first 3 things?
I'll have to see with you again, Santa, at some point because I know we discussed like possibility stuff with that. But I'll have to talk to you a little bit more in depth with that at some point,
Mhm.
whether it be
Yeah.
after this or whenever.
Well, yeah, because it sounds like Phage and Larry are going to be in the same situation. So whatever you decide is also going to affect Larry, probably. So
Yeah, we did
yeah.
talk about it, so I can
Mhm.
vouch for her.
I also
Yeah.
assume that they don't need to eat or drink because they're mechanical in nature.
They do in a way. That's it's just different.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Uh, what is the. Sorry, I'm trying to formulate words in my head and it's not working. What are
I feel that.
the conditions to which one does get frostbite or heat stroke? So the amount of time, temperature, that sort of thing.
It's going to vary, I'll be honest. It's not consistent because it depends on where you are and what the conditions are.
Okay.
Because you're going to get heat stroke a whole hell of a lot faster on an active volcano than you are
True.
uh, out in a desert. So,
Okay.
like, it depends on the area and
Okay.
how extreme it is.
Will there be warning of like this is an area you could get heat stroke, or is that just an inference type deal?
It's going to be inference in most cases, unless the locals have posted warnings.
Okay.
So if you're not sure and you want to know, you can medicine check or nature check. And then I'll let you know.
And I'm assuming for the instances that there are signs, it's a perception check to perceive the sign.
Probably.
Perceive or read. If you can't read the language, I mean, it means nothing.
Exactly.
Got it.
So,
Okay.
yeah,
So it'll be heavy roleplay in that aspect, and it won't be
it
just
will.
handed to us.
Correct.
Okay.
I think it's more fun that way, but we'll see how everybody reacts to it once you get your first extreme environment.
I have more
Anything
questions
else?
about 4 and 5, but I'll wait for you to describe 4 and 5.
Okay. So, there are many beliefs, gods, religions, and all that jazz. Your characters are going to struggle sometimes because there's going to be a clash of beliefs, clash of languages, clash of gods, things of that nature. It's okay to be frustrated. I'm asking you to problem solve. There's going to be some problem solving up in this campaign, so you gotta be a little ready for it. And then languages matter. We have had this discussion. You might not be able to read or speak a language. That's okay. There's a lot of them. And I'm using a lot of them. So if you can't read it, can't speak it, sometimes you're just going to have to problem solve.
So,
Now, questions.
for gods, I know some players have them, and I have one as well. How often would divine intervention play?
Varies on the situation and how often your characters decide to interact with it.
And
Because
sorry, go ahead.
because obviously if you're the type that's going to diligently pray and diligently ask for help or make offerings to whatever you believe in, you might get more intervention than somebody who's like, gods don't exist, I don't believe in the thing, there's nothing here. It varies.
What was my other question? Trying to think, because I had something else as well. Right, it was for talking to a god, is it going to be able to just, they'll always hear you, or will you have to make a roll for it?
They will always hear you, but it doesn't mean they'll always do something about it.
Got it. Okay,
So
that.
it depends on the divinity, I guess.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Anna,
Yes.
I will have to talk to you about the one god thing because there's something I did come up with, but I haven't shared it with you yet, and I have to remember to do it.
Write it down now, Saito, before you forget. Put it in your channel.
It's in my brain. I'm trying to find the thing you sent me about the god, and I can't find it.
That was all my
Got you.
questions, though.
Oh, I found it. All right, I'm pinning it so I remember.
Do you know of any party members who are going to be the outgoing, preachy type characters?
Preachy?
Preachy. We're
We
talking
don't.
about Southern Baptist type characters.
Like, follow the
None.
path of God.
We have none that are the preachy types.
Cool.
So you're not going to get a lot of that unless somebody's like suddenly
Unless somebody
decides to go.
becomes that, got it.
Yeah. But as of this moment, to my knowledge that I have been given from all of you, nobody is seriously religious. Some of you have a god and some of you have some religion, but nobody is in any extreme sector of D&D religion at the moment.
Cool.
Is that a pet peeve of yours, based?
Yes. In
Okay.
real life, yes, 100%.
Just
But for in-person character things, for thinking about my specific character, he would also have an issue with it. So
just checking to know if that was a path or not. I don't think I'd go down that path, but
I mean, it is what it is. You know, there's
mhm,
gonna, if you want to go down that path, you can. It's not gonna be a huge deal. It's just that my guy's agnostic or atheist, if you would
mhm.
want a little insight or background on that. But uh, yeah, that's just him. So I was just curious about the whole religion stuff, and if we had anybody who's gonna be like, praise God, like, praise this guy.
No.
I
And
mean,
so,
it's also as a
you know,
player a pet peeve of mine, but I was just checking because there's always a path that can go down that way for anyone that's religious as a character.
yeah, 100%, which I get. So if that ends up happening, it's not gonna be a huge issue. It's just that it's cringy to me as a person in real
Hmm.
life, and my guy as a character is not gonna care. So
Hmm. Hmm.
I didn't. I was asking the question because I don't know if it would potentially become a conflict between PCs. Um.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
No, at this current moment, we have either afraid of gods, or does not believe in them, or has some association with them, but it's not deep. So
Mhm.
it's like nobody's in an extreme yet. So
Cool.
it's just dabbling.
Mhm.
So I don't see it getting out of hand, to be honest. But we'll see. Everybody plays differently.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Real
Any
quick,
other questions?
Joe Biden has prostate cancer. Anyway, G4.
Okay.
That just happened, and I had to share.
Stay on topic, Saito.
I had to
Yeah,
share. It's metastases, man.
already breaking a rule of a session. That's crazy.
I just
Yeah.
had to. I just listen. The world was testing me. I had to just fucking throw that out there. Anyway, continue.
Okay.
This happens a lot.
Hmm.
I am. Yeah, no. Trust me. I know. I've had Saito before in a campaign. I know how
I,
she
I,
works.
How do you think she
I
is as a
just,
DM? Bear, 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 bear.
that's not
It's
my
so
fault.
true.
Your fault. Listen, I just had to say it once, and then I just a one and done. We're going. All right, continue, Tana. Go, 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 go.
So there are trackers, as most of you probably saw in your inventory. The needs tracker, which is your food and water, that's for you to play with and help to keep your sanity and track things. There's going to be a DM tracker, because there's things that you pick up or get or other people will do to you that you need to keep track of what that does to you, and so do I. And in that case, it's going to go in the DM tracker, and you don't touch the DM tracker. You're welcome to look at it. You're welcome to look at the items inside, and if they have charges, you're welcome to look at the charges, but don't play with the charges. That's my job. So, in case you pick something up that does that, it's going to go in that category.
So to be clear, we can look at it and we can read the description, but that's it.
Yep.
Okay.
Because the
Because
description right
obviously,
now, it's some sort of cloth thing.
yeah. Yeah. So, you'll see that in the DM tracker. I don't mind you looking at it because 99% of this time it's going to be something that's on your person, so I would expect your character to look at it. So
Mhm.
I'm fine with you realizing that there's going to be charges or differences on the thing. I just don't want you to click the charges
Will
and
you
stuff on the thing.
will you be putting like statuses there if we have such like let's say a curse on there? Or is that going to be in a separate spot that we won't see?
Uh, varies. If you are aware you have the thing, I will put it in your inventory. If
Mhm.
you are not aware that you have the thing, I will not put it in your inventory.
Got
I
it.
have a separate condition tracker for the bullshit that you get into. So, um, it just depends.
Mhm.
Anything else?
Nar.
No.
No.
Mechanics. There's so many mechanics in this game. You are going to be aware of some, and you'll have no idea of others. I will let you know when you're allowed to know the mechanics. If you discover the mechanics, we have the Discord section that says Discovered Mechanics. I will put the rules and stuff there so you can read them. I will explain them when they get introduced, and we will go through the questions. Sometimes this will make sessions go a little slower, but I'd rather everybody understand a new mechanic when it comes into play than try the new mechanic and then get hopelessly lost. But basically, as soon as session 1 starts, all the mechanics will be active, whether you know them or not. Any questions?
Um, Nar.
No.
Okay.
Hmm.
Money. Will money be used? Yes. Can you earn money? Yes. How can you earn money? Jobs, crimes, exploration, games, events, festivals. There's
Woo.
lots of ways. I will make sure you can spend your money. I'll make sure you can earn money in one way, shape, or form. However much money you want to have is up to you. I don't know what each character is going to want to spend money on, but there are definitely ways to get it. So don't get overly worried about. Oh man, I'm broke. There's 500 ways to get money. You'll find a way to get money, some way, shape, or form. Any questions?
I don't know if it's on the next slide or not. We're not using Electrum, right?
No.
Okay. I don't know if you have the conversions on here or not, but I know they're in Discord, so.
They're in Discord. I didn't put them on here. I figured this was fine enough, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
In regards to money, our starting gold is on our person already.
It is. It's
So
one of the few weird things that survives.
okay, so I'm just trying to imagine in my mind, right? My guy gets transported to this location. He only has his sash and his gold, and that's it. I already had gold from previous. I don't find gold wherever we end up. That's our quote unquote starting gold.
That is your quote unquote started gold, yeah.
Cool.
Because
I
of
was just
You
my...
making
lost
sure that
everything
like
else.
I was just making sure like I wash up on a beach and I see a sack next to me and then you see gold in it and then that's our starting gold. I didn't know how you were handling that, so I was just like just trying to make sure it's like we are showing up with our gold. Got it.
Yes, you are showing up with your gold and whatever specific backstory items that you picked.
Because of my start, I'm gonna assume I got it in travel. Midway to this point.
Yep.
But alright.
Yep. Anything else?
Sorry, don't.
Or
No.
Nar.
We just talked about religion. You don't have to roll with religion or the gods or any of the beliefs at all. But if you want to, you can. Does it impact the game? It can. Doesn't mean it always will. It's a chance, like everything else. If you want to, and you're not sure how to approach it, you can go to shrines or temple or other places of worship. You can pray to forces, gods, or beliefs. You can make some sort of offering in the name of a god, belief, or thing. You can create a worship item if you're that kind of person and you're skilled. But at the end of the day, it's optional, not required. Experiment at your own leisure if you wish to. Any questions?
I have questions for myself, but no.
Questions maybe after, but not right now.
Fair. Spells. You can pick from all the D&D spells, but you got to keep things in mind. You need a spellcasting focus to make things not cost materials unless it says it has an actual price, like a pearl worth 100 gold. Then you need that item. I'm rolling with whatever version of the spell you pick is how we're going to use how it works. So you can read between Legacy and the 2024 version. I don't care which of the spells you pick, but we're going to use it as it's stated within that rule set. Read your spells, know what they require, know what if they need components. Because obviously this will be a little bit difficult in the beginning as a spellcaster if you have all spells that require materials and you have no materials. And then if you don't have a spellcasting focus, you're going to need the materials to cast your spell. If you have a component pouch, you'll put the materials in the component pouch. And obviously none of the spellcasters have a spellcasting focus at the very beginning. You're going to need to find a way to acquire one or make one.
So for clarification, so if I had a spell casting focus, but it said about the like the pearl, I would still need the pearl, right?
Correct.
Cool. Hi,
Hey,
Jess.
Jess.
It
I-
is.
I-
If it's a pearl of like 100 gold pieces or more.
Yep. If it has a price, you need it. If it doesn't have a price, you're fine. If you have a spellcasting focus, then you have it.
Des, just make sure you're watching the Discord stream then.
Welcome on in, Des. Nice to have you.
Well, if it'll let me actually click your name. Thank you.
We're just going over the PowerPoint. So obviously, just read over it a little later. Unless you're a speed reader, then go for it. Catch up. But just covering some of the basics.
What does number 5 mean? I'm confused.
So, if you're a spellcaster, each of the classes have a thing that is required to be a focus. Like a druid would have some sort of like twig or sprig or nature themed thing, but a bard's going to have an instrument and an artificer is going to have a tool.
Oh,
And
okay.
that's all it means. Is just so long as it fits what you are, you can make your spellcasting focus. Mm-hmm.
And I think it's saying that it works for both of your classes. You don't need two, you just need one.
Correct. That is me homebrewing it, but you only need one.
Which would mean if you're a wizard, druid, you can just use a twig to have your spell book.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Just to make life easier on everybody. Because I figure if you've learned how to do spells in one way, you're fine doing spells in another.
Anna.
Yes.
Another question when it comes to that spellcasting focus. I remember we discussed that syringe thing was probably going to end up being it. Are we going to say that it's like damaged, that it doesn't work right now?
Yeah, for now.
Okay, that's all right. That's what I figured. I just wanted to double check.
Mm-hmm. You can use it as one later.
Yeah, I'll fix it up with some stuff.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. To continue upon that, 6. To make or attune to a spellcasting focus, it's 5 gold pieces and a long rest. I read there's so many different rules for it. That's how I'm doing it. Because that's simple, it's easy, and I'm not classifying it by every single class and every variation of situation.
So that essentially means that, like, to make it actually yours.
Yes. To make it
Okay.
actually yours so nobody else fucks around and finds out.
And you
You
can't
need
cast spells without doing that long rest, or can you still?
you can, I will let you, but it won't be fully attuned. Like you won't I will say you won't get your like spell casting proficiencies and stuff until you're attuned. And your pluses and stuff.
Okay.
So then we just use the base until it's attuned.
Yes.
Oh,
If you have an item.
Got it.
alright.
Mm-hmm. All of you will have gold, so the gold is not going to be an issue. You'll just need a long rest, and you need to find an item. Or make an item, one way or another.
Mhm.
So it shouldn't be... I'm not making the process terribly painful. And then obviously, final reminder, you need the materials or a spellcasting focus. You can't cast spells that require materials unless you have the spells or a spellcasting focus. Any questions?
So are these materials that, like, we could buy, or we just find them off in the wild?
It varies.
Okay.
So, if you look at a spell, let me see. Let me pull up.
And I can give an example if you don't mind, because I was looking at mine.
I can as
Okay.
well.
One of
Go
my
for it.
spells requires a dead animal. So I would have to find a dead animal. Either one from like a butchery probably, or like just fucking kill a lizard and also get the Eye of Newt for something.
Is that then technically? Yeah, you could just go to like a butcher and get a piece of meat. It's a
Right.
dead animal.
Yeah.
But with other spells such as Identify, you need a pearl that costs 100 gold pieces, which you could either find by going through clams, or you would have to buy at a shop. Even if you have your spellcasting focus, with how she was ruling it.
Okay.
Would
Yeah, Tana, you said if it has a cost, you gotta have it.
Yeah. If it
First
has a cost, you
objective:
would the
immediately buy bags.
gotta have it.
would the ritual be different? Can we cast ritual spells without a focus?
You will still need materials if it's a ritual that needs materials.
Right. But can we do so without a spell focus?
Yes.
Okay. That's all I got.
A lot of these things are like you need a pinch of sand or glass shard or a
Yes.
tiny rock. Those are very easy to get.
Hogwarts potion class.
It
That's-
is. It is.
To give you an idea, one of my spells just says some phlegm.
Some phlegm.
Does it
Ah.
actually?
Yeah. Yeah, it says some phlegm.
Well, hold
I was
on.
like, oh.
Phlegm can be so many different things. So
Which does remind me, how am I gonna get that? I'll figure that one out. That'll be for me to figure out. But also,
Mhm.
especially being I can't really cough up shit. So.
your
You have
party
to get
members.
somebody else. You
Yeah,
have to
it'd be
get your
like, can
party
you-
members to cough up stuff.
I can't wait for that. Can you cough into this vial? Thank you.
Them just look at you. What?
Don't worry, because I have a spell. I literally it says components S somatic. It says somatic material some phlegm.
What spell is that?
As a
Corrupting
being with
ichor.
no phlegm, do not ask me.
I mean, I feel like you're
Oh.
kind of made
I
of
mean, yeah, I was about to say you're kind of phlegm, just in general.
Nope. That's how that works.
Anyway, I just remember
So-
seeing that. I thought it was really funny.
Mhm. Yeah.
Some
No.
phlegm.
hmm
That's funny.
Diseases and illnesses.
Yes.
Okay. So
They are a
like
thing.
what?
Oh,
So
yeah,
like
they are.
Tana, like what you know of mine? Yes. Could happen at moments.
Yes.
Okay.
Me and the party, maybe.
Definitely,
might
you
get
mean?
disease. Definitely, you'll get a disease at some point.
Yay.
So yeah, sicknesses, diseases, very much a thing. Some will need regular medicine. Some will need magical intervention. And some don't have cures and stuff yet. So you are gonna have fun. I don't know what messes you guys will decide to get into, but if you get into them, have fun.
Smiles.
Mm-hmm.
Smile.
Indeed. Any other questions?
Spells don't have any direct affection on my character, so no.
Yeah, you're good. You just punch things
Thumbs
and
up.
call it a day.
I'm out of
So-
questions.
So like with like I have produce flame, right?
Yes.
That does that require item? Question.
So, okay, look. If you click your spell, you should see if it says something. It'll say like components or like materials. This one doesn't have one, so it won't say. That means I can just all I need to do is do a hand motion and I do the thing. But do I have any on Enigma? that
She
need
has
something?
detect poison and disease
go.
that
This
has a
one.
material.
Spiny shield. I need to have a quill. A small quill. If I have a small quill, I can summon a shield.
Okay, I see. Like detect
Yeah.
poison, I need a U leaf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the V is vocal, which means you have to speak. The S is somatic, which is hand movement, and the M is material,
Okay.
which you'll
Mhm.
see on the notes side as well, without the whole thing popped up.
Yeah. Which helps out. There's a lot of information once you click on something. But if you're ever unsure, please ask. Spells are sometimes complicated.
Yeah, that seems fine.
Any other questions?
Nope.
I was gonna say, will you briefly? It's already been explained to me before, and it's been written down. But I think I need like a brief refresher. Explain to me how damage works again, like with unarmed specifically.
So unarmed, depending on what you are, it'll tell you. The hit slash DC, that's your plus on what it is to hit something. So if I say roll to hit, you roll a 15, then you'd add a plus 6. That's 21 to hit. And if, say, something has an AC of 17, like Enigma, you would hit it. The second part is the damage. This one, because of how, depending on class and what it is, Enigma, in this case, doesn't get a plus. It's just 4 flat out damage if I hit.
Okay.
Tana, I think most of the time unarmed strike is just a base damage.
Yeah.
Unless
Yeah.
it's a specifically, so for example, fighter has a fighting style for unarmored strike, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
That's something a little bit different. But I think across the board, everybody has unarmed strike, which is just a flat damage. I don't think there's ever been modifiers, and I can be wrong, but I haven't seen any yet.
I have it.
Yeah,
It's monk.
centaurs
Monk
and
has
monks.
modifiers.
Oh, monks.
I was
But-
gonna
Yeah.
say, I think Uwaki has the thing on his as well. At some
Mhm.
like, I think there's something
Yeah,
on
we
it.
have.
That might be related to subclass. Yeah, he's
If
got
you
a
have
plus.
melee
No,
attack
never
with
mind.
martial arts base, which is what the monk has, then you get a 1d6.
Yeah,
Or-
it's for
Yeah, 1d4.
monks and
plus
fighters
4.
get it, I believe. But like
Yeah,
for
right.
me, I
Uwaki
just
does
have a
not have one.
flat 2.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So if I
Yeah.
hit you, it'll always be 2 damage.
Mm-hmm.
Tiny bird man.
But yeah, if you have one that says it's a 1d6, then you would roll a 1d6
Okay.
instead. So it's pretty simple on the damage, at least.
So since we're talking about this, you have ruled that fists are weapons. For my
What?
specific guy,
Yes.
there's some shenaniganry that's there because there's abilities and stuff, and we could go into more in that later if you want to, if you have time. But like, yeah.
I expected it to cause shenaniganry, but I don't mind the shenanigans because I'm giving you a little bit of a harder start.
Mm-hmm.
And you need the shenanigans.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't mind the bullshittery that you're gonna attempt to get away with. That's
Okay.
fine.
Besides, she's gonna do it right back to us.
Yep.
I
You're free.
mean, I wouldn't be surprised, but at the same time,
Huh?
I'm like, I gotta make it known that my guy's currently set up for technically 2-weapon fighting,
hmm
but unarmed fighting with some other abilities, and we need to kind of go over that because me and Doom talked about it the other day. I'm like, and I'm like, all right, I really need to get with you on that, but you've just been sick a lot lately, so.
Yeah. Yeah. Sadly. But you can definitely walk me through it later and we can talk
Mhm.
about how broken it is and if I need to put
Yeah,
specific rules
yeah.
in place.
It's
Um,
almost the levels of Enigma. It's like maybe pushing Enigma levels of broken.
okay.
So we need to talk about it.
Okay. I'm assuming
So.
it's in secondary triggers. That's making it broken.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay. Got you. Understood. That's fine.
Mhm.
Um
We just need to go over it.
mhm, I'm cool with that. Um anything else?
Initiative time.
Initiative time. Initiative, I keep it pretty simple. We can use it for combat, but it's not always just for combat. Um, if the party splits, I will call initiative to figure out which group goes first, and then we'll bounce between the groups in the event of a split party. If people get really chaotic, screamy, yelly, I will call initiative, especially if it's over loot, and then it's just a matter of who goes first in whatever shit show you guys are about to create. In session 1, I will call initiative for the first time characters are meeting, just so you can describe your character, and then I'm gonna let you loose. Because I just want everybody to understand this is what my character looks like after blah 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 situation. And then once everybody is gone, then I'm gonna release it to you to role play and figure out your lives.
Mm.
Any questions?
Which introduction will be the what happens when you get there, describing the character, and then how your character reacts to the party, and then it's immediately passed off, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And for your fun facts, this is where you'll be on the lovely beach. If you don't have your owlbear set up, owlbear link is in the Discord. If you want to upload your tokens and be fully ready, you can be. But this is where you guys are going to be on session 1. As you can see, Doom's already set up his mans in the corner so that he's ready to go. Session 1.
Let me in.
Yep, come on in. So, not a huge deal. If you don't have a token and things set up yet, that's fine. If you don't know how to use owlbear or having an issue with an owlbear, let me know. Me or Doom obviously can help you out, and we can get you all situated. Any questions?
Not exactly. I need to make my owlbear.
Ah, I've been crushed.
Oh, I've been muted this whole time.
Yeah.
You
Crazy.
have.
Nice.
You have.
Anyway, I had to swap to mobile because I'm currently in severe weather and a lightning uh strike hit a power pole somewhere. So
Oh,
Oh,
fun.
fun times.
yeah,
Oh man.
Mine's going crazy, but I missed the initiative, but I kind of already know you don't need to go for that.
Okay. We just did initiative and talked about how the owlbear is technically ready. I just have to accept you into the owlbear, and you can
Sure.
upload your tokens and whatever. But you can do that whenever. Just shoot me a message. It's not a huge deal, and I will let you into the owlbear so that it should let you in every single time after that point.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and obviously you are familiar with the initiative because I'm pretty sure I talked with you about initiative, so should be good.
I mean, and then
Yeah.
We've lost him.
Yeah, I did indeed.
I mean initiative.
am I back?
Uh-huh.
You're back.
Cool. Yay, severe weather. Yes, I know about initiative. I know about roleplay initiative and the situationalness of that.
Cool. All right, inspiration. Um, what is inspiration? It is your redo dice. If you have inspiration and you don't like your roll, you can say you're using it and roll it again. This works with any type of roll, including damage. That's how I play this. How do you get it? Take actions that embody your character, their goals, their ideals, their personality. Be creative, sometimes confusing me or blowing me away with whatever you've come up with in shenanigans. And decisions. Some group decisions will give group inspiration, and there are moments this can happen throughout the campaign. It just depends on if the group will manage that or not. Any questions so far?
Will
That
we
seems
be
easy enough.
will we be starting session 1 with inspiration?
That is the next slide.
I was just about to ask the very first point. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. Des, you were about to speak.
I just said that seems easy enough to remember.
Cool, cool. All right. Continuing on for inspiration, then, I am leaving it as a homebrew rule that you can hold more than one inspiration at a time. I will let you hoard your inspiration. I like the availability of if you've earned it, you should be able to use it, and that treat it like a treasure. Use it when you feel like it. There is a inspiration tracker in the Discord. I will be updating it as you use and gain inspirations. However, you may only spend one inspiration at a time, no matter how many you have, at least on one of the same things. So, for the example, Bill fails a death saving throw, he has inspiration. He fails it again. He cannot use an inspiration that turn on another death saving throw, but he can on the next turn. At the beginning of this campaign, everybody starts with one. I let you test your luck, use it as you see fit, and please pay attention to the Discord tracker to keep track of your inspirations. For those of you who like to use your D&D Beyond, there's heroic inspiration. You can click it for the little sunshine and have it marked there. But the Discord will reflect your actual amount if you have more than one. I expect most of you to have more than one fairly quickly.
Remind me, inspiration die count as basically luck die where it erases the previous roll and is not like advantage or disadvantage.
Correct.
I was just
Got it.
about to bring that up as well, that it's a new role that you have to use and you can't go back.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But to also clarify for the not using one at the same thing, if let's say it's not we're down and we're doing death saving throws, I can use inspiration on an attack roll, but if I make another attack roll, I can't on that second one, but I could still use another inspiration on the damage.
Correct.
Okay.
It just can't be the same thing in the same round
Mhm.
if you're using multiple at once. But it can be different things in the same round.
Mhm.
So for fighter who has extra attack at 5th level, I will not be able to use 2 separate inspirations for 2 separate attacks.
Correct.
Okay.
This is just to keep things from getting extremely unhinged very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Not for me.
I am good.
Okay.
I'm marking inspiration on the card right now.
Everybody's favorite thing, wild magic. It exists. You're gonna run into it on and off. But please don't panic. I am a DM of scaling. I have separate wild magic tables for your levels. I will not kill you at baby levels. Things will progressively get worse the higher level you are. So, for now, you're safe. Later, you're not. Wild magic could be great many treasures and also terrible things all at once. It's very mixed, but for now, you will have the baby list, and the baby list is not scary. Any questions?
That's what
But
you
It's
think.
not scary, it's terrifying.
Exactly.
I got a question.
Yes,
Is there an oven?
there might be. You'd
And
have to find out.
Is there an air conditioner?
You might find out.
There better be. No, I'm joking.
Not.
And Des, because you're new to D&D, wild magic is magic that goes crazy, meaning it doesn't do what it's supposed to do. It does something random.
Oh,
Um,
so cursed. Cool.
Yes.
Pretty much.
hmm Indeed.
Or
Also,
blessed.
or
Mhm.
blessed.
Or blessed. It's
Or-
not all bad things. It's a mixture of good, bad, and neutral. Sometimes you're going to be like, oh yeah, I don't even know what happened. And other times you're gonna be like, I am the luckiest person alive. And sometimes you're gonna be, what the fuck just happened? So
No.
Hello.
it all varies.
Hi, Moss.
Traveling.
Where
Be be safe.
can't get much safer than staying in my lane. And I haven't seen a car in my side of the road for like 10 miles.
Damn.
Moss, I asked Tana if she could make a private channel for you, me, and her.
Cool.
Yep.
Also, by the way, Des, for context of the oven thing, the last campaign I was in with these guys, I had a character that was obsessed with putting his hands in an oven, and
I-
so we had an oven in the wild
Okay.
magic table.
And an AC unit fell on one of my guys.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, hey, truck.
So just
Okay.
expect shenanigans.
It's a D&D campaign. There's going to be shenanigans. If there's not shenanigans, I don't want to be here.
Exactly. That is what we expect.
Real quick, Larry, with the way Moss, with the way Larry's photo is in there, it looks like he has a Burger King cup on his head. Because I can't see the top of it. I just see the orange and red lines.
That's
Burger
one of the
King.
wild magic things. You get the Burger King cardboard crown.
Oh,
Hell
I
yeah.
mean, he, he would wear one. By the way, if you ever hear me crunching, it's because I am crunching. I physically. My headphones are in my ear, which is right next to my jaw, which is in part of my mouth. So.
That's fine.
We can't
Don't
really hear
worry.
it anyway, to be honest. Well, now we can.
You've been warned.
Okay.
Crunches.
I'm hungry, okay?
Alright. Everything about wild magic understood at the moment.
Yar.
Apparently, you can just make ovens.
So, like,
Yep.
does wild magic essentially, you know, like how picking up a piece of cursed armor does?
I'm not particularly worried about it. I don't think Larry uses wild magic.
Like, so it would necessarily, like, if you were to pick up a piece of armor or something and you go to put it on and it has wild magic, could it technically make you fatigued or something? Is that it? Is that what I'm
It
getting at?
could. Well, so let's say this. In a lot of cases, wild magic, at least in my experience, can be a zone. It's naturally occurring, which means if you cast a spell in the area that is already unstable, crazy magic, you will cast your spell and something else random will happen. It could literally be you get a pile of gold in front of you, an explosion could happen, frogs could fall from the sky.
You can change
It could be any
races.
of those things. Yeah.
Or as you
Yeah.
said, a piece of armor, it could be an item that somebody decides to spin over and over and over again, and random shit just happens. You know, it could be multitudes of different things.
Yeah, it could be an item, it could be a zone, it could be
The
a
equivalent
weapon,
Your
of
mom.
it could be a
Sorry.
curse.
Ron trying to hex Malfoy and getting to eat slugs himself.
Yeah, that's basically it. That is what is going on. So anything could happen, good, bad, or neutral.
Okay.
It's I just have a custom sheet that I roll when it's active. And then we see what happens.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. It's a little fun and a little chaos. So
Good.
Maybe it'll
love
give our
chaos.
bird friend his feathers back.
They'll come back
maybe.
eventually.
Or I'll take the rest of them away.
I will
No,
make sure
it
that you
takes his
can't.
gold feather.
Poor man's.
He's been through enough.
But yeah, nothing's going to kill you at the baby levels. So don't worry about wild magic getting too terribly out of hand while you're babies.
Is there
It's
is
all
there any
later.
is there anything that might like one shot us?
No, not right now.
Not yet.
Okay.
Yes.
That's more of a if you're level 10 and above, yes. But you're babies. Right now, no. And I'm not going to outright kill you. Knock you out? Probably. Kill you? No.
I cast Circle of Death.
Power word kill.
Circle of Death is better than Power Word Kill, and the reason being, it's an area, not a target.
True. Is that actually a
Yeah.
spell?
It's a legit spell.
Oh,
I
I didn't know
get
that.
the fuck out.
I cast rabies.
Yeah, so should be fine. Should be fine.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Nope.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Maps.
Real quick.
Yes.
How much could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
All the wood in the world that it could chuck. Is
Oh,
a woodchuck
thank you.
chucks all that wood?
Around 700 pounds.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you, Tana.
You're welcome.
Why specifically 700 pounds? That was
Because that's how much wood a woodchuck could chuck, physically.
We're breaking the rules.
We are.
We are.
Alright. Back to being on topic. Maps. I make maps. Yes. So, I apologize in advance if they're shit. I use Incarnate. As you can see,
Incarnate's
made
fun,
that.
though.
It is fun. So you're going to see a lot of the same assets and things because I'm using it, and it's a good tool, and it's easy enough for me to make a map. You will have maps most of the time, unless you guys, do something really offhanded that I wasn't ready for, which will happen eventually. I will be using the Fog of War for Owlbear. I'm just not always great at it. So prepare for accidents and don't metagame when it happens.
I also
Oh.
suggest looking. There's people who make free maps on Reddit that they just like advertise for everyone to look at and use.
There's a lot. Incarnate has some. There are some free Patreon ones. There's a lot of
Teku one as well.
Yeah. There's a lot of actual sources. I am just a picky motherfucker, and sometimes I just
Sometimes you
I-
just
I
want
get-
what you want. Nobody else got it.
yeah.
Literally.
Speaking of Dana, again, if you do need help making maps with Incarnate, I can always throw some together. I'm working
Yeah.
on that other one, like I mentioned before. I need to finish that. So
So, yeah, there will be maps most of the time. I have them. They're mostly ready. And sometimes there won't be a map because I wasn't ready. But most of the time you'll have one. Any questions?
Nar.
Okay.
Map's a map. Pretty is pretty.
Yep. Decisions. This is a sandbox world. You have 5 bajillion decisions you could make. I don't mind the decisions that you make. I will roll with it regardless. Obviously, the initial goal is y'all being some sort of pirate or treasure hunter. But if you decide that's not for you and the whole party takes off in a different direction, I'll roll with it. If you guys can't make a decision together, we'll vote. And winning vote is what we'll do.
So, in that instance, if you miss like a bit of the if you miss a session and you come back and the group has kind of like moved on, we're still in the original area that we were at, right? So we have to make our way to the group.
No. Like in this case, say you're out sick. You miss. What I do is I have your character follow the group. Unless you give me a reason that you don't want to follow the group, I have your character follow along. Even if it's just in the background, that way you guys don't get split unnecessarily because getting sick or missing is sometimes out of your control. And I don't want to punish you for not being here.
All right, that's fine. We basically briefly turn into an NPC for a minute then.
Yes. You turn into an NPC. You kind of fall into my control for a little bit. If there's something I really feel like your character would do, I'll play it out. But then other than that, no. And this usually just comes into if there's a case of combat or something and things get hairy, I might have your character step in to assist in your playstyle to the best of my knowledge. It'll be a little harder in the beginning because I won't know your playstyle as well. But as we go, I'll have a good idea of how you play and how your
Follow-up
character
question.
behaves. Yes.
Oh, that's fancy car. Sorry. If because Larry is pretty closely connected to Phage, am I allowed to give Brittany control if, say, you already have another NPC or something that you're controlling?
Yes.
Okay.
I will allow that if she's okay with that.
Your
And if you do miss a session, there will be a session recap as well as a VOD of the session. So
It'll allow you to catch up if you want to.
All right.
Otherwise, take things at your own leisure. Obviously, health comes first. You take care of you. We'll see you when we see you. Love to have you when we have you, but if you need rest, you need rest.
My ass will just be constantly late.
Which is
But
fine.
everyone was warned of that beforehand, so.
Yeah.
Mhm. Anything else?
I think that's it.
I
Unless they
did.
have something to say.
Nope.
Unless the slime speaks.
I have no questions. I've been through this more than once.
Yes.
Oh my god.
All right. The Discord
I've
world
had
tab.
5 DMs in the past. I should give you context, Jess. 5 different DMs in the past.
You
So
can call me Jess.
Yes.
sorry, Jess.
I'm gonna hang you by your toes if you had them.
I have no toes.
This is my 4th separate DM.
Yeah.
So I've been in a couple campaigns.
Mm-hmm.
Yay, I'm a baby.
Hey,
Hey, everybody's a baby at some point, and I feel like you're with a pretty group, like a good group to be a baby with.
Yeah, we are a pretty
So-
Yeah, it
group,
is a
aren't
pretty
we?
group.
Yeah.
I
Ragtag
prefer ugly
man.
here.
you.
Thank you.
Let's just
I-
what
I know.
all are we? A centaur, a ferret,
Well,
uh,
a
a
little
A
more
nuclear
mink.
complicated than a
thing
ferret.
doctor,
A thing.
a plucked chicken, and an
No.
amorphous blob.
I'm a plucked raven, thank you very much.
You're
Nah,
red. You are not a raven.
you are not a raven. You are red.
Well,
He's a corvid of some kind, a cardinal.
Yeah, cardinal.
Kankus
Yeah,
are based off
mean-
ravens,
cardinals are
but
red.
yeah.
I mean, guys, I gotta be honest. I don't know of any real life birds that have a gold feather on the top of their head, so I don't think the
True.
color
But hey,
of the
we don't know.
feathers
We don't
really
know why
fucking
that
matter.
happened. We don't know why that fucking happened.
I'm
You don't know
red.
why he's red.
I'm red
Yeah,
because
you
of a
don't have, like-
mutation, or I'm covered in blood. Thank you very much.
We
Your
call that one
choice.
magical bullshit.
Look, at some point you fell into a dying vat full of strawberries. We get it.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
And bleach because of
And-
my
and-
skin.
Larry is unfortunately not a ferret. He is a stuffed animal.
Yeah.
He's also a mink, I believe.
He's also a mink. That is true.
Mhm.
That they gave me the idea of a mink, and I went insane.
Yeah, a
Yep.
centaur, a bird, a stuffed mink, a slime, and a robot.
Aw,
And a sea elf.
sucks.
And a sea
That's
elf.
nice.
And they all walk in a bar.
As well as
Yeah.
a quote-unquote human.
You man, I don't know about you.
We don't have a resident human of the group. Darn.
Nope.
No, we don't. He's a something, but he looks like he's a human.
That's my role in my main group. Is I'm the resident human, and
The
I
token.
fucking love my guy.
The token human.
Yeah.
Mhm. I mean, we have a
Slurs.
we
I'm
have
very
a-
excited.
we have a token half human.
I guess I could. Hey, look at all the South Carolina players.
Token half human. Bro,
That's crazy.
okay. So I was briefly, actually, trying to get a feel for his character and role playing with a friend of mine. They referred to him as a pack mule, and I immediately he went from being friendly and nice to there's a hoof in your face.
Sounds accurate.
Oh yeah.
Kicked him and immediately said, nah, you walk now.
Yeah.
to the
This is gonna
topic.
be a crazy party.
Mhm.
It'll be great.
I'm so excited for shenanigans. I love shenanigans.
This is definitely a shenanigans campaign. You guys got a lot of freedom for it, so
It'll be interesting.
it will. It will. All right, getting back on topic to the slides at
Breaking the
hand.
rules.
Mhm.
Always, always. Well, it was sort of on topic, but slightly derailed.
It started off on topic.
It did. It did.
Quests, riddles, puzzles.
Yes, yes. The world tab in Discord is going to be your best friend. That's where I'm going to share information with you. That's where the pictures are going. That's where the riddles are going. If you run into them, I'm going to put them in there for you. If you learn something as a character individually, I am not putting it in that tab. It will go into the I need to talk to you DM private category conversation that we have. That way your information stays private to your character and you can share it as you please.
Cool.
Any questions?
No.
No.
Pretty straightforward.
Player vessels, because you might end up with more than one. I don't know where your adventures are going to take you in terms of how you behave. But for now, you have a boat tracker, potentially, because I assume that's the first thing you'll go for. I could be wrong. I will add whatever vessels you get to the world tab, and I will give roles to all of you to edit what's in there. In terms of you can put what the inventory for the ship is in there.
Oh,
Or
how
whatever
lovely.
vehicle you get your hands on.
Would
Someone
a
please
mech?
remind me to request a tiny clown car later.
Yes.
Yes, that could be a thing that you could just add to the things that you want.
That's what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
That is exactly what I
Absolutely.
mean.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just,
Yeah.
driving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're able, you can always add anything to your player item wish list, because that's your own wish list.
Yep.
I
You
know.
can edit it from now to forever. Till the end of campaign, because I will reference it throughout. So if you run into something and you're like, damn, that was cool, you can just add it.
Yeah. I just need a reminder because I'm not officially out of this car for another 5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
Are you still in West Virginia?
I'm still in West Virginia, yes.
Fuck yeah.
West Virginia lasts
It
forever.
really does.
Here's the thing: when driving up to New York, it didn't. I'm guessing because we just went through. I've actually been in West Virginia 3 separate times today because I went to Ohio to see my other friend, and in doing so, you have to go through West Virginia. But and so coming back, but to continue going south, it took me back to Pennsylvania and then back to West Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So
that
I had to
sounds
cross
accurate.
over. I had to cross over West Virginia again to keep going. Why does it smell like weed?
Because it's West Virginia.
Yeah.
And it's gone now. Okay,
Anyway, continue.
sorry.
About this player vessels. Would for those of smaller stature treat something like Saito as a vessel?
I mean,
Excuse
yeah.
me.
That's a question.
In all technicality, yeah.
Excuse me.
So does that also mean that Des is a vessel?
I mean,
I'm more like a part.
Because I don't know what you're classifying as vessels. Like, is a steed a vessel? Because
I thought we were talking chips.
I thought we were
thinking-
talking inanimate
I'm-
objects.
I'm thinking in terms of something big that would get you from one place to another. Whether
So,
you hijack a train, or you have a boat, or you find an airplane, or a spaceship, or something of the likes, I count player vessels as something big that you can all get on.
all of us got it.
So if
so not an
they
Iron
were
Man suit.
to if they were to
Mhm.
tack me to like a wagon, technically,
Yes.
I mean, yeah. You're part of the vessel now.
yeah,
Death, what are you again?
I'm a centaur.
Centaur.
Okay, I was just wondering. I was like, I thought you were a centaur, and I was like, are we talking like Jesus?
Yeah,
like what
I'm
are we
almost
doing? here?
I'm nearly 7 feet tall, like almost 700
I'm-
something pounds.
I almost thought you meant like crucifixion.
No.
I don't know the name of our centaur friend. Ooh, you want to send me your details so bad. Ooh, I want to draw your horse so bad. Please let me draw your horse. Ooh, you want to DM me right now?
Don't draw while driving. Thank you,
And why?
birds.
Because I can get to it later, but that way
Hello.
I don't forget and they don't forget. Because I'll forget.
That's valid.
Very nice
But
of you
yeah.
to stop by.
What I count as the vessels that will go into the world is something that can hold the whole group. You guys can totally get mech suits or little tiny clown cars, but those will be personal. You can keep those on your person and store those wherever. I don't need to keep track of your little vehicles. That's your job.
So wait, we could just put these things in our pocket.
So we're not going to be running through session
No.
1, by the way.
Okay. I was like,
This is just a session 0. Session 1 will happen on
No, it's just
June
literally
8th.
holding it up to Phage.
Um, so we're going to be doing June 8th every Sunday after the fact at 4 to around 7 or 8 for D&D. But this session is just session 0. It won't lead into introductions or anything like that.
Cell phones?
Yeah.
Possibly.
Let's go, Technologica.
That was a question of curiosity because in my other campaign, which is a spell jamming campaign, which I think is like this one, don't quote me though. We call them eye stones. But they're basically cell phones. They're cell phones. And they work as if we were all on Earth, even when we're not, because who wants to think that hard about Wi-Fi?
Yeah, that's fair.
I-
The possibility is there for it to be there. We have technology ranging from, oh, we just invented the wheel to, I have a motherfucking lightsaber. So,
Fair enough.
I was gonna say, I assume there will be primitive to advanced technology.
yeah. So you're gonna meet a variety and decide what you like as you go along.
Fair.
Wonderful.
Mhm. Yep. Anything else?
Not for me.
If we have a world that we have already made, and we're willing to share that with you, do you have any problems with using it?
If you have a what?
A world.
You can share it with me, and I will take a look at it. I won't promise I'll use it, but I'll take a look.
Yeah, an offering, if you will.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I like offerings. I like to play with them and see what I can do with them. So I don't mind. If you feel free to poke me with ideas, there's suggestions in the Discord channel, or you can just flat out DM me. It's fine.
Will there be different
Mhm.
maps for different kinds of ships?
Yes, when we get there.
Okay.
For now, depending on the situation, we'll see. But it'll probably take me a minute to make something fancier.
I will attempt eventually to probably make a map of the one in my backstory.
Yeah, that's fine because Phage is also doing that. So
yeah, I have an outline. I just need to color it, basically.
hmm
Technically,
I'll
make
try to
one
make
as
one
well.
in Incarnate.
yeah, that's fine.
What's a ship?
Your mom.
Something you do on the toilet typically.
I don't have one.
Oh, Lord.
Continuing on topic.
Yep. All right.
Sounds like a funny comeback. It's not working.
Yeah, that's fine. Homebrew. As we all know, this is a homebrew campaign. Homebrew is going to be all over the place, which also means homebrew items, homebrew spells, all that jazz. Please read when you get a homebrew item. It should say most of what it does. Sometimes D&D Beyond will not show the proper damages for things that are like weapons. And I know a lot of you are using physical dice anyway, so I'd rather you get proper damages and stuff up. If you run into a homebrew spell, shoot me a message. It will literally say in the description, this is a homebrew spell. It's very clear that it is not normal D&D stuff. But shoot me a message if you want one of them, and we can talk it out. Any questions?
No.
Nar.
Downtime. I will be giving you downtime on and off in the campaign. Downtime is what your player does with a certain amount of time when we're not in session. So downtime, I could say you get 2 hours of downtime, and your character would then do something for 2 hours. You can try to earn money, you could do crimes, you could just check out the town. In this case, I have all the possible things you could do in downtime as examples and the rules in all categories in Discord under downtime. You'll get it sometimes. It's valuable. Use it or don't use it. It's up to you. You can message me to use your downtime. Or you can try to set up a VC chat with me for it. But downtime is always not on session. It is not on session day. I refuse to do it on a Sunday, and that's just because I'm doing session prep on a Sunday if there's any last minute stuff. But Monday through Saturday would be happy to do your downtime with you whenever. You're not going to get downtime if you're in a dungeon or you're in a puzzle spot or you're with like a boss or something. You have to be doing something where you actually could utilize downtime, like being in town on a boat, exploring somewhere. Any questions?
Who knows? You might get a little dust bunny called Piss.
You might.
You might. Is there anything off limits for downtime?
As of right now, no. If you guys do something ridiculous enough, maybe. But for now, no.
Assuming you need the
I have a new
materials.
goal for downtime.
So what I'm
Assuming
hearing is that, like,
Kindling.
say, like, Phage could do something like gather materials for poison, make poison
Yes.
someone.
Larry can
That-
poison
that's
himself for
awesome.
shits and giggles.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, you can. And yeah,
and
that's why
assuming
crimes is also an option because murder, attempted murder, stealing, poisoning somebody all goes under crime.
I assume not every
Ah.
session will have downtime as well, like between sessions.
Correct.
Okay.
You'll just get it sometimes. It's not a guarantee. It's not all the time. I will definitely not include it on a week. I know that health-wise I'm busy. Like if I have a lot of lab tests that I need to do, or I get a lot of blood work done or something, then I'm not going to have the energy for downtime. So if it's a bad health week, and I know it is, you're definitely not getting downtime for my
So
own sanity.
That's
assume
okay.
there
I'll just
is
come
no
over and piss him
downtime.
better.
Assume there is no downtime unless you say there's downtime.
Correct. Assume there is no downtime unless I say it.
Okay.
That's the way of putting it. Any other questions?
That's all I got.
Okay. All right. Giving ideas to the DM. As we discussed a little bit in our derail earlier, I like ideas. This is Sandbox. Sandbox means I can incorporate a lot more than normal. Check out the suggestions in
Hello,
category in
Kornagar.
Discord for things you want to suggest, or just send me a message. I don't mind either way. Any questions?
Nope.
All right. What do I need to be ready for session 1? 1. If you're a spellcaster, please pick your spells. Obviously, when the Crooked Moon content comes out, I will allow for the switching of spells
Woo!
and subclasses to incorporate those if you choose to. all your stats need to be finalized, which means no more putting them everywhere, trying to figure out what you want. You need to solidly decide where your stats go. Your main backstory needs to be finalized. You can have minor changes throughout the whole campaign, but whatever the core part of your backstory must remain the same once session 1 starts. Please have an owlbear account ready so you're ready to hit the ground running, because we will immediately be getting into owlbear for session 1, which, again, owlbear map, and then owlbear link is also in Discord. So I can accept you in here. It'll ask me a request. So if you're trying to get into it early, just send me a text. I will let you in. Have a method for rolling dice. I don't care if you use the Avray bot. I don't care if you use physical dice. I don't care if you use D&D Beyond. Just so long as there's some way you have a way to roll dice and get your numbers, you're good. So long as it's fair. And then obviously be ready to have fun. Any questions?
No.
Owlbear link is where?
So
Albert.
in Discord, if you go all the way up, it is under the world, and it is the first tab.
Deck.
Yep. And then I will get you in on the owlbear when you are obviously ready. Once you're accepted in the first time, it shouldn't need to accept you in again unless you're not logged into your account. This is why it's good to make an account and be ready, sign in, and then request entry. There we go. And then obviously you'll be in here. I can see who's in here. And you're all good to go. You can get your tokens uploaded at the bottom corner and add your tokens in. And then call it good. So your character can join the party and just be set off to the side until we start. Or you can bring your character in on session 1. I don't mind either way. But we will be using this immediately. Any other questions?
This one?
I'm good.
Okay. That is all I have for session 1. Or session 0, not session 1. So if you have any further questions, if something comes up, if you're just trying to think of something, let me know. Obviously, we have a couple weeks until we hit session 1. I want your characters as wrapped up as they can be. I think most of you are pretty done anyways. So I'm not overly worried about it. And just obviously, the time frame is 3 to 6-ish, roughly, every time, depending on my health. But it should be fine. It should be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yard. Anna, I would love you take your time obviously, but I'd love to do a discuss with you
Okay.
with certain phage things.
Sounds good.
You'll have to give me a second though, because my tummy's been a little grumbly.
Oh no, the tummy.
Gosh,
Yeah. The IBS.
IBS strikes. By the way, Death, I have IBS. It might strike at the worst time.
You did tell me last time. I remember.
Did I?
It
Oh,
did feel pretty good this weekend. I'm just saying.
it did. It was fine. But now it's angry.
It
Hey,
held
at
out that
least-
whole time.
It's
Held out
okay.
all
The
that time.
the IBS strikes.
It happens. We're all getting old. It's fine.
It does happen.
Alright. Tanner, where do you want me? Do you want me to call you whenever? Or what do you want me to do? Still stick in channel. Something like that. Whatever you want.
Meet me in the private captain's quarters channel. When you are ready.
Okay.
Remember,
then let-
I also requested stuff
Y-
about.
you
Go ahead,
did too.
you can do base first while I suffer. And then
I
base
do,
whenever.
however, want to open this up for Des since she is a new player, as she did join late in the presentation.
Mhm.
If she had any questions about the earlier slides and other stuff like that, it doesn't,
Right, if we need to go
I'll go
back.
back and look at everything.
because metagaming and other stuff like that is more
Oh,
complicated topics and that sort of thing.
that's not a complicated topic for me.
Okay.
I've been role playing since I was 11.
Oh, yeah.
No need to brag.
Okay.
Me too,
I'm gonna
Dad.
end
Me too.
stream here for VODs.
No, look, man, I still remember the Neopet forums. All right, like.
Hey,
Oh,
hey, mine